I want to show you something really cool that I've been working on, which allows you to now show images in your ChatIQ.ai responses. So obviously incredibly useful if you're building a tutorial chatbot or an onboarding chatbot to display in your software product or on your website. It can also do product recommendations and show product images and a whole host of other things. So I'll give you a bit of a walkthrough now. This is something I've been working on for the last couple of weeks. It's taken a while to get to this point, and there's still a few things that I'm still working on. There's a few updates which I want to bring out in the future. The main goal of this is for this feature here. So I've actually scraped here, if we go into the data feed, 96 knowledge bases. The word counter's not working, but there's almost 1 million words of data in this account at the moment. But within my chatbot, if I go to the workspace and the Shopify chat, you can see that this is trained on 30 pages from a specific website which teaches how to do things within Shopify. It's given me a step-by-step guide on how to add a product to Shopify, and it's also selected the image that it needs to display that step, and it knows the correct image. It knows that this image here is obviously the add product image. If I click this button here, it gives me a bit of extra information about what the product image is, and there's a reason for this you'll see in a second. But if I visit that, I can actually see it in a much larger format. So you can see here, it's the add product section of the website. So if I go back to the dashboard, I can also remove an image if I want to, so it will now no longer show up in any future responses. So the workspace is basically an area where I and all of my users basically train and fine-tune the responses from their chatbot. You can see obviously the information that it's using for its responses. But here's a very good example. If I've asked it, okay, what about CSV? It knows the context of the previous conversation, and it also knows that it needs to keep showing me images of that conversation. It knows that it's trying to explain a step-by-step process. So here, for example, add a file, it's actually extracted the correct image here, which obviously has got add a file. So it knows that that is the actionable step that people need to take. It's highlighted that in bold to make it easy to read. And you'll notice that these responses are mostly formatted in a way where it's easy to read and get the information quickly. Most chatbot builders out there will just spit out, 500 words of text and just chunky paragraphs, and it's just really boring to read and nobody pays any attention to it, which is something that I wanted to fix with this update. So you can pause this and you can have a look at what are the responses. But the other thing which is really cool is down here, for example, it knows if I want more information, I can go ahead and look at this Shopify guide about importing and exporting products into Shopify. But now I want to show you something else that I've been working on, which is for e-commerce stores. So you may know the brand, the Hoodie. They have got hundreds of products. I have only scraped from their website 60 different pages I've scraped from their website, and I've obviously built this chatbot on that information. And you can see here, I've asked it about the Mr. Men hoodie. It's actually given a title, so it's easy to see what this conversation section's about. Very easy to get the information in bullet points, and again, it's highlighting text that it thinks is important and quick information for the user to get hold of. The other thing which is really cool is you'll see it's now hyperlinking to different pages on the website, which the previous version of ChatIQ couldn't do. So if we click here, it will obviously take us to the second page, but more importantly, it's now actually tracking the number of clicks. So in Google Analytics, for example, you can now see how many people are visiting different pages and what questions are most likely or most commonly being asked within your ChatIQ.ai bot. And also, it's able to understand the entire layout of your website. So it knows where everything is. Again, if I click on this button here, it's going to take me to that product. We're talking about the Hoodie Twin Pack. So if I click on, which obviously grey, this is the hoodie that it's taken, it knows that that is an image from this product page. Now, it's not 100% with e-commerce websites. So sometimes you'll find, for example, down here, I'm talking about Star Wars themed products. And what it's done is it's taken this image, which is actually from this page. It's actually this image here. The reason it's done that is because it's actually referencing the chat history as well. And it's using that. So I am working on improving this response and the image selection. But also I want to show you something else. If I decide that I don't want to ever show this image again. So for example, here you'll see there's images that I don't want to see in my responses. There's just icons from the website. So if I go onto the actual hoodie page, they are, where are they? Yeah, there's these images here. Obviously ChatIQ knows those images exist, so if I decide I don't want them, all I need to do is click on this button and I can actually remove it, which means now, regardless of whether the chatbot tries to include that image in the future, in its responses, it won't actually be shown, which is obviously very cool. So this is a good way of you actually customizing how your chatbot responds. And again, here, this is a unsupported media. So I am working on implementing this in the next sort of upcoming updates, but this is a video, which at the moment it's able to extract the video, but it's not able to display that within the chat. And again, this could be something that's really cool if you're building an online course, for example. You could have a chatbot which, you know, takes and shows you images of how to do things, but also videos, which again, I will also look at adding. And if that's something that you think you would use, let me know in the comments, so I can always push it up in the roadmap of things to do. And again, there's one up here which we don't need. So you can see I'm just going through and I'm removing all of these. And obviously you can embed all of these into your website as you usually could with the previous versions of ChatIQ. But yeah, let me know what you think. I'm quite excited by this update. I think it's going to add a new dimension to the responses. It's going to make it a lot easier for people to access information and get information that they need very quickly. And again, specifically for tutorial bots, I think this is going to be very useful, and I'm going to add this to ChatIQ's onboarding so people have extra information about what it is that ChatIQ does when they're learning, for example.